Has anyone ever doubted that research could actually be turned into a business? Have you ever wondered? Anyone? Just maybe just reply the chat room. I believe the chat room is open. So just like I have, just reply with I have. Like, have you ever wondered, like, can research really be turned into a business? Have you ever wondered? Yes or no? You can reply with I have, or you can just reply with a yes. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, very sure that many would have been wondered. Microbiologist. I graduated as a biochemist. I did biochemistry in school, right? And maybe chemist or any other, related. But there's a major challenge in the heart of so many people, and that will be like, can research really be turned into a business? Most people always think about, okay, maybe last, everything I just have to do or become is get a job in a research institute and offer my research skills in academic role and become a researcher in an institution. That's a lot of thoughts, and you discover that so far we've seen less and less and less of real-time biotech startups, biotech companies emerging from within Africa. It has really been a major challenge, right? It has really been a major challenge, and most people graduate from school to become a early career scientist, and at the end of the day, there's really nothing to offer. There's really nothing to show forth after you graduate, and you tell people, just proceed from just graduating to going and doing something very different from what they actually studied in school. Very few people just scale it towards or through academics, and then they become an academician. People, in fact, a whole lot of people thought things like at the end of the day will become a professor and teach in a university. Am I right? Am I right? I think there's a present challenge concerning this. You should become a business person in the science space, right? Yeah, so that's very key. But today we want to address that matter, and it says that research outputs are growing exponentially across Africa institutions. Yet, impact translation continue to lag behind global standards. So it means that very few people, or there's a lot of research taking place, but there's very little. Sorry about that distraction. So, a translational research is a kind of research that can actually be turned um, into a business that money can actually be generated for such a business. That's what it means to carry out a translational research, right? And we want to see more of that takes place. So it means that we should stop having a kind of research that just end up at the desk or at the drawer cabinet of a researcher. I mean, there have been a lot of amazing research, groundbreaking research that could actually, solve a lot of problems in the society. But all of this research at the end of the day just end up at the cabinet on the desk, dusted, like full of dust and forgotten. But we want that narrative to change. We want that narrative to change. I want to see young scientists emerge with the groundbreaking ideas to launch their companies, to launch their ideas, to launch groundbreaking research that could actually transform the whole community, that could transform the whole ecosystems of Africa, right? And that is what we want to see. That is the kind of thing that you in a science space, right? That is what we want to see. So the critical question is, how do we bridge the gap between knowledge creation and tangible value creation? Right? Knowledge creation and tangible value creation. So it is one thing to have a knowledge and to create a knowledge, Some of this knowledge creation is basically what we learn in the institution, what we have been passed across. But how can this knowledge be translated into a value that can be offered and be used by people in the community, in the society, right? And that is more of what we want to see. So the future of Africa innovation, how on our ability to transform research excellence into market-ready solutions that would drive economic growth, translation of this of ideas of research into a tangible solution. There's always a way. The only difference is people are not willing to step, and more of the reasons is because people lack knowledge, right? And also they lack ambition, they lack passion, they don't know how to go about it. But we want to see this thing takes place, and that is one of the things we want to discuss. Why this conversation matters. Can we go to the next slide, please? Next slide. Amazing. The tradition uh, has always been, research, publication, and citation. Please go back. That has been the traditional way of research. Can you go back? You jumped a slide. Yes, this. So nowadays, when an undergraduate, does research and is about to graduate, they do a final year project, even masters or PhD, and it's also about, oh, I'm doing my research project, and they do the research project. Some of this research project has been a repeated research project that has been done by so many people. So it means it's more like this set when they graduate, they do a research. The other set will not do it, but the third set will do that kind of the first set did. So it has always been a repeated thing. It's just been a loop, right? And everything ends just as research publication and science. This is a global issue. Turn number of citations, number of citations of the research published, but there's never been any case of written translation of that research into a tangible product that can actually solve problem, written problem. And all of these things is a result of funding dependencies, poor industry linkage, and weak innovation pipelines, right? And some of these things is also because of lack of real-time infrastructure that could actually, you know, foster innovations, the kind of innovations that is needed to produce the kind of solutions expected, right? And these have been the things on the loop on the cycle across different institutions. And many researchers, investors, they want to attain more higher position and increment of salary. All of these things is still brought to research papers, not even solutions. Many of these researchers graduate without tangible solutions, being published or being sold to pharmaceutical companies and all, right? So we've seen few and fewer biotech companies, few and fewer biotech led organizations that is actually providing real-time solutions. I mean, there are a lot of solutions out there, a lot of plants that has not been utilized in Nigeria, in Africa as a whole, right? And we want to see that change. Please, can we move to the next slide? Good. So, yeah, so a new mindset for impact habits, you know, taking research beyond just research papers and journals and what you are expected to get from journals, because at the end of the day, after you publish journals, maybe you are looking for scholarship, maybe you are looking for academic position, maybe you are looking for promotion in the academic space. But we want to begin to see products, market ready solutions addressing real needs. We want to begin to see platforms being developed like mobile apps, right, in the biotech space that is scalable, that can be offered as an infrastructure to enable broad access to, innovative research, to power innovative research. We want to see, solutions draw out from research that could support policy making, right? In order to create a kind of more robust framework shaping the society. We want to see ventures like startup companies build on the basis of scientific foundations. We want to see scalable solutions, being grown, right? Move to the next slide, please. We want to see these things, being better, and you guys can do it. I believe it so much. You can do it. I was able to do it. I started my journey in the biotech industry about 4 years ago, and here I am. We are one of the top biotech companies in the whole of Nigeria, and shaping biotech ecosystems across Africa and the world. I'm going to share more of our stories at Denmark and how we've been able to slowly build a kind of product in place for scalability in currently, which is some of the things we're doing. From research to market is an ideal thing. I mean, we add some kind of call for partnership across different organizations, especially institutions. We sat down with their VC, we sat down with their top ranking officials in the university, and all of their complaints have been that we have research, but we don't know how to translate it into a product that can be marketed. This has been their problem. And they have it. Those things are working. But they lack the infrastructure, they lack the tools, they lack the experience to be able to translate these things into a market ready product. Right? And we want to bridge that gap. We want to bridge that gap. And that is why we're here. So identify real world problems is key. Validating what users this what I'm about to say right now is more like the pathway. So if you're looking for how to translate a research or how to create a kind of solutions as a researcher in the research space, that is what I'm about to say right now. Okay? Yeah. So the first thing is you need to be able to identify real world problem. What is the problem that the locals, that Nigeria, that Africa is facing? What is the problem that they are facing? You need to identify which industry, which organization sector are these problems more prominent. Is it AMR? Is it diseases in the healthcare space? Is it disabilities? Uh, Problems in the space, talking about issues happening with agricultural plants, that's widespread and affecting economic growth based on food economic growth, basically. You need to first of all identify a problem. See, being a scientist go beyond, I just want to create a restaurant. I want to be making food. Oh, let me go and farm. What about translation of farm product to a tangible product that can be marketed? We want to see more of that. And that is some of the things you can do. Or identify the problem, work on it, and see how you can address that. Validate with users and industry, right? Once you have a problem, you have an idea and solution that you want to address. You have to validate with different users. Do they think about it? You have to scale through partnership as well. Leverage strategic alliances and funding to expand reach and deepen impact. Conduct problem driven research and build MVPs. So if we have to follow it in order, the first thing is identify real problem, conduct the problem driven research, validate with users, build MVP, and then you scale. These are the specific step by step roadmap that you can follow to launch a product, to create to think about an idea, to address a problem, create it as an MVP and really see. Some of these things could be like, the solutions could be a tangible solution, more like a substance that you want to sell, right? Solutions. Or some of it can offer research services, right? You can offer research services. Some could be diagnostics. It could be products, either digital or tangible products, and it could be services, right? It could be social service. Can we move to the next slide, please? So this is what it means to go from research to market. And this is the roadmap you can follow to be able to get there. So please move to the next slide. All right. So becoming an entrepreneur, it's key. And what defines new spirit is think beyond the lab. Think beyond what you are doing in the lab, and you have to understand users of the market, from the market, what do they need, and what kind of solution can you create. And the next thing is build disciplinary teams. Yes, yes, yeah. And also you think about protecting your IP, more like doing, you have to go and get, is it IP, intellectual property registrations with the government and all of that. Yeah, please, next slide. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah. So building research-led businesses makes the difference. It's what differentiates you from other students or from other yourself, right? Either in biochemistry or you have already studied biochemistry, or maybe you already have a job with a research institution. You need to begin to think, how do I develop it can become about a company? How can I develop a solution shit you? It's just that thought, that heart. Just thought problem, create a solution out of it and market it. That's what differentiates you from just an ordinary researcher and a research-led entrepreneur to that becomes or that builds a research-led businesses that is scalable, right? So the first thing is science first foundation, evidence-based, or back solution, long-time defensibility, trust and credibility. Now that there does not need all the rigorous things that you need to do to be able to scale. You just need there's simple things you can build that is a painful problem, especially across Africa, that you could actually build, and that could really help a lot. So we have different infrastructure. We have the health diagnosis, more like the apps. AI now is present. ML, machine learning is present that you can use to build, right? That will be used right across different from different in African markets. We have mathematics platforms. We have research infrastructure that you can build, which could actually be scalable. Please, can you proceed to the next slide? We're almost rounding up so that we can take questions. So this is my experience from Mark. Yeah, so like I said, I started 4 years ago, and I started with an idea, a plant combination that could that this that just early stage diabetes. I graduated as a microbiologist and be acceptable genome. I was opportune to be part of a program that teach me about a 3 months mentoring program that taught me about what startup is all about, and that's how we built a tech startup like LTech. So and then later on, I now introduced bioinformatics, and then we started bioinformatics. We provide city building and education, and then we began to into research. And later on, we now incorporated by creating solutions that is currently in the pipeline. We have capsule-based natural remedy right now that we are looking forward to commercializing and scaling next year. Currently, we have a subsidiary also that is bringing in machine learning, bioinformatics, genetic, even different field of study, different domains that we're creating currently. Right, we're creating a mobile not mobile present, it's both mobile, desktop. We're just creating a digital science infrastructure that we're scaling across different institutions to use to empower their researchers and also be. So those are some of the things that is needed to address fragmented infrastructure systems within Africa, right? And then we have diagnostic kits that we're developing currently to roll out to the market by next year in Lagos with one of our branch that we took to Lagos. And then we have ed hardware develop IoT as well. I mean, quite a number of different initiatives out there. We're offering services as well, and that has led us to, you know, dive into different. We've done capacity building to over 1,000 people across 100 countries. I mean, and all of this is about funding, right? They used to say funding is the issue in Africa, but there are things you are thinking you want to do, and there are things you can bring into doing, so you pour that revenue into be an encouragement for you, right? To take you get a job. Don't wait to look at another thing different that has nothing to do with your original core, right? Don't wait until that. There's always a way that what you did in school, your original calling, there's always things, I mean, a way forward. And it's this what we are talking is one of it. You just have to have that ambition, you just have to have that passion, you just have to find time, give yourself time to think, to ideate, come up with an idea, and look for mentors in the space that can mentor you and guide you. And let's start something. And let's start something. I tell you, we I mean a lot of things that we just started 3 years ago. See, the potential is wide. I tell you, the potential is wide. Is wide. The gap is wide. The problem is much. You just have to position yourself to address those problems. There are many of those problems are many in Africa. There are so many of them that are yet to be solved, even by the white people, because the white people are not here. So obviously they don't know. We address it, we come up with solutions for it. So yeah, top slide. So we just conclude right now in the next 2 minutes. Next slide, please. Okay, so basically, as a researcher, you have to design with end users in mind, collaborate beyond discipline, learn entrepreneurship and IPC. That third one is important. You have to seek ways to learn entrepreneurship. Go online, get courses that teaches you entrepreneurship. Get courses that teach you about startups, about startup company, biotech startup company. Get courses. That things will help you well, apart from just you finding ways to get ideas. Next slide, please. Next slide. Very quickly. Yeah, so the future of research has to do with this four major things. Build, right? Translate, yeah, commercialize, and scale, right? Build, create tangible solutions, bridge, lab to market, right? Commercialize it, and then you scale to hundreds. Yes, next slide, please. Those are four models to work with. Build, translate, commercialize, and scale. Oh yeah, please proceed. Next slide, quickly. Is that all? Okay, I think that's all. Yeah, so thank you so much. I think that will be all for now. So let's just take questions because of our time. I would like to take questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much once again for that wonderful session. I really learned a lot, actually. I think one thing that stood out for me was the last part where you explained the four ways in which we can actually translate our research into real life solutions. So you have to build, then you translate, commercialize, and scale impact. I think that stuck out well for me. So let's just check what others are asking in the chat box. I'm going to be reading out some of the questions. And oh yeah, Mahfouz, yes, definitely. You have the slides after the webinar. We're going to share the slides and the recordings to you. You can please drop your questions now. So I'm going to read everything just for time. We have three questions at the moment. So Olawale, if you can still hear me, I'm going to read out the questions, then you can proceed with answering. The first is, how does one go about funding for grants or capital? Assuming one has identified a problem and is ready to go into deployment phase. That's the first question. The second is, then how important is having a research publication, or is the business the end goal? Then finally, we have, how was the funding stage for your business? And how did you scale up? What was the turning point to success for you? So let me know if you got those questions so you can just
Yes,
help
yes, yes.
answer them.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
How does one go about funding for grants and capital? You see, there's something called validation, right? So if you have an idea, you need to first of all validate and build traction. So I mean, there's some kind of research that needs money to build, right? But there's still a way to build a prototype of the idea, even with the little stuff that you have, right? Just to test it out. So it means that there are times that you have to look for money yourself to build a prototype, to just to test out the idea, so that you can have it and then have a traction. Then that would be the basis for you raising capital, right? And also, there are ways you can actually, get grants, especially if you dive into masters and PhD, and you want to do the research at PhD level. You can apply for grants. Obviously, if you are lucky enough, you should be able to get that particular grant to build the prototype. But even if you can't, I've still seen people who use their money to do PhD, to do research in PhD and all of that. So there's a way you can use the little you have to build a prototype, right? And have an idea, to show something, to show forth concerning that particular solution you think you are having. Are you getting it, or you have? So, and if it's a digital solutions, you can build a prototype using Figma, right? You can just do a UI UX product design to show a kind of prototype of. I mean, even right now, AI can build prototype for you through just prompting, and then validate with users. The other time while I was presenting my stuff, I said validate with users, speak with users, have people join the wait list, discuss with them. What do they think about what you have, right? And then maybe revamp, I mean, or improve the product you have based on what they said. And then from there, in fact, what the people say and how the people you reach is already your traction. You don't necessarily need money as your traction to be able to raise capital. But with the validations and feedback from users, that could actually be the road points towards applying for accelerator programs or looking for investors who can give you money for you to now build the major thing for deployment, right? Because when you talk about deployment phase, deployment means that everything is ready and you need to release it to the user, right? Is that not what deployment means? So before deployment, you must have built capital, get a prototype, and then be able to showcase what you have. I mean, that's why some people are doing job, and part of the money from their job, that from their salary, they are pouring it into that research to build a prototype, to get it ready for work, and then validate with users, and then get it ready for when investors will pour into. And that is when they now leave the job they are doing and just face the business they are building squarely. Are you getting it now? So grants can either come from PhD level. You could just apply for grant based on the ideas generally. If you're lucky enough to get, then you build a prototype, right? And then maybe the grant is enough, can lead you to deployment, or better still, use your part of your money raise money from family, build the prototype, right? Get validations from users. It becomes a traction. Then you present in accelerated programs, and you're able to raise funds. Then how important? I don't know if I'm able to answer that very correctly, and you're able to, because it's not enough to just identify a problem. You can't just say you have a problem, you have an idea, and you want to, my brother. It's not enough to identify a problem. You have to get ideas. What's the best possible solutions you have, and what have you begin to do to put in place for that? I mean, look at resonance. Thank God for resonance. Resonance identified a problem and they launched out. They launched out with an initiative. They launched out with a fellowship. They launched out, and the fellowship with, at the end of the day, leads to something, a product, an amazing product at the end of the day. If they want to get grant for this now, they have solid reasons, solid evidence to show that they can get grants to power their social impact ideas, right? It's very, very key. Then how important is having a research publication? You see, I'm not saying research publication is not important. It is important. In fact, you need a research publication to even validate your biotech ideas. Are you getting it? So if you have a biotech idea, you have to publish also so that you can. But another thing is, I also want to caution you in research publication. Research publication does not automatically mean IP protection. It does not protect you as an IP, because if you release a research publication of the idea you have and you publish it, somebody else will get it and say that research publication must be this used to say it again, that research papers must be redoable, right? It must be reproducible, like it must be producible, right? Somebody must be able to reproduce what you say you claim you do. So in fact, research publication should be done after, should be even be released after your IP, after you got IP for that idea. You've protected your IP, your product. You've gotten licensing, or you understand what I'm trying to say. You've done all those IP protection that so end me, not research. If you're an academician, research is good, but you can also be bridge the gap between research and industry, right? By creating a solution. Are you getting it? And very, very few researcher or professors we have seen that translate into products. Very, very few of them. And some of them is maybe one or two at the end of the day. Not see more, but very few. Are you getting it? I want to see more of it. I want to see more of it. Then how important? Okay, yeah. So how was the funding stage for your business? Okay, so like I said, funding stage for my business, we do bootstrapping. Bootstrapping means generating money from your business and then returning the money back into your business. So what we do is that when we launched out, we try to look for something that we can do that can be bringing money, and the money we use it to pour back into the research and the product we're building. Are you getting it? So basically, we offer programs, and then people pay us, and then we get the money to pour back into the primary objective of products we're building, right? The initiatives and solutions we're building. So that has been the major funding source for us ever since we launched out, right? And that has also helped us to scale at least to some point. Do you understand? So first thing is we try to get some secondary things we can do to bring in funds, while we use the money from there to pour on the primary things to keep building and to scale. So that's the major thing for me, right? So what was the turning point to success for you? Turning point. Okay, so I think turning point has to do with when while we're growing and building, and then I discovered that our ideas were growing beyond just the number of us available. I think we started we're just four, five, and later we discovered that, man, what we're doing, each of those things could actually stand on their own as a separate business, and that's why we now begin to bring in more people, more hands, and then separate those things into different subsidiaries, different companies, sectors, because they are huge on their own. So we separated the herbal translational research part into a company called G Natures that are building natural product, natural remedies, and incorporating it with genomics. Also, we separated research and capacity building, which is education. We also separated the innovation part as tech part, building solutions and all of that. Separated the services part. Now we have the diagnostic part. So those are just like the major turning point for us. And in each subsidiary, we try to identify ways they can be generating revenue while they are building their primary team and getting money to also point to their primary team. Because obviously, it's not like we got funds or we've gotten funds or grants. We didn't get grants or anything, but I mean, we've always tried to raise money in millions just to make sure that through our initiative, through what we are doing from within ourselves, not like from our personal pocket. So because what we are doing also was keeping us sustaining us, right, to survive. So that's it basically. And that's the life of biotech, at least in Africa. So that's it basically. Yeah. So if a person wants to start start in the research world, where to start and skills to learn before starting. So basically you have to start learning research, and also you have to get some tech skills, digital skills and research space. And also you need to also, before then, sef, you have to identify your niche. Are you going into industry? In the industry, what sector? Is it the health sector? Is it the chemical sector? Is it the robotic sector? You have to identify those places first. And then look at, okay, make research. What are the skills, experiences, set of things you need to be able to, you know, start your in that sector. What are the things, the skill, the experiences, everything you need? Then you now begin to look for those things. And after you get those things, you understand? After you get those experience, you now maybe go into internship, offer internship, get scholarship that even dive more deeper into masters and PhD in those areas, right? So because without skills, without skills, without experience, through internship to position yourself, skills and experience also, and knowledge also in entrepreneurship together is what will help you scale through. A job and you need to devote yourself to this job on daily basis. First, you need to know that you need to survive. So you have to place a higher percentage of priority on your job, because if your job collapse, you will not survive. Your research will not survive. So if you have a job, put priority on that job. If it is 8 to 4, make sure you do your stuff 8 to 4. And after 4, you have to be sacrificial enough to make sure that either from 6 to 9 every day is when you are devoting yourself to those. So that means no joke for you, no play, there no game. So sometimes try to rest and game yourself around, right? And but you see, majority of your life, especially in the 80s, you have to pour into your work. So while you focus, you pour more priority based on time management on your job. You get more tangible time, like maybe 5, 6 to 9, 10 or 11 every day after your work, to pour into your research. Are you getting it? And the product you're developing. And that could actually really help you. So it's just based on priority and time management that you need to work on. And when did you decide to leave your job and focus full time on business? So basically, after graduating, I didn't get a job. I tell you, I've never gotten any job in my life. The moment I graduate, I started freelancing with my mathematics skills, because I've been learning the mathematics ever since I was in school. So I didn't have time to apply for any job because I didn't see a need to. So I just dive into freelancing, offering my skills based on contracts to the researchers. But then I think within a year, I just stopped freelancing and just cuckoo face the company. So what I was doing in freelancing, I put it inside the company, and that was what was bringing in funds. So I was saying something. I said I would have been very more comfortable if I continued my freelancing. I would have had a lot of money personally, but bringing that freelancing stuff into the business stopped my own personal money. So that was a phase of sacrifice for me, that I saw that any money that comes belongs to the business, not me. So the business should pay me salary, even though I'm the founder and CEO. That's the life of a business entrepreneur. The difference between some businesses and other businesses, that some businesses, the CEO or the founder see that every money that comes to that business is their own, and some businesses are that every money that comes belongs to the business is not their own. So the business must give their salary, and those life that thrives, that become successful. They pass through process, they pass through sacrifice, they pass through passion, they pass through meaning so many stages, right? So that's it. And when did you decide to leave? So like I said, I didn't leave the job, and I have to stop to I think I've used up my time and I need to take my leave now. Yeah. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Olawale, once again. Um, Please, can everybody just keep the clapping reactions coming? Let's just appreciate him. Like, that was a lot of insight. So, for those who still have more questions for him, Olawale, if you're still there and if you don't mind, drop in so that they can follow you and probably just follow up with some of the questions they might have. You can drop your LinkedIn profile here on the chat box for us. Thank you so much. So the next on the agenda right now is something related to one of the questions asked by the participants. So something about research and what we need. At this point, I'm going to bring in the founder, the brain behind Resonance, Isaac Oyedele. So Isaac has done like a lot in terms of bridging research and trying to turn research into something that is translational. So it's going to talk about one of the opportunities that we have. Floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much, Blessing. I want to confirm if you can hear me. Can everyone hear me clearly? Please, you can use your reactions. All right, thank you. So once again, I want to say thank you so much to our guest speaker, Mr. Oluwaseyi Olawale. It is an honor having you with us and sharing these gems and this wisdom with us. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your presence and we appreciate um, this kind gesture of honoring our invitation. Thank you so much. So, I believe many of us have been pumped to start taking action on the wisdom that has been shared so far, right? And here's one of the opportunities you can maximize in taking action going forward. So, this is me introducing RBS Innovation Scholarship. So if you are following us on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Twitter, you must have seen one or two posts about this, right? And what is the purpose of this program? Um, as you can see, where research becomes ventures. So this is an opportunity for you to come and learn by doing how to conduct research and build real businesses from your research, right? How to conduct translational research and build real businesses that sell at the end of the research. So here's what you are going to experience in this program: hands-on research experience. This means you'll be conducting research, right? And we are going to have sessions with global experts. I mean, from different people who are going to in different sectors who are going to, also share their experience, right? During the program, you're also going to build real ventures. I mean, you are not just conducting research alone. At the end of research, you go through an incubation stage where we incubate your business ideas, right? So at the end of the incubation, you must have a clear roadmap and also a way to, start selling to customers, users, and also, yes, there's going to be product development and testing. That's mostly for those whose businesses are tech enabled, right? There's going to be an opportunity for you to build your product, and test with your audience, right? Your target audience. I mean, we are even going to give you easy access to your target audience because we are also building partnerships with them such that it is easier for you to imagine you want to conduct survey and you don't even know where to go or who is going to fill the survey for you. We are making all that easy so that you only focus on your research and your business, right? And after the incubation, you are going to have leadership roles in the business. This means that you are not just building a business and Resonance is going to take it from you. You are building your own business, right? So you have a chance to co-own the business, right? So you could also get your co-founder from the program, but the main point is that you are building the business and you own the business, right? So you have the leadership roles, the CEO, COO, you have those roles, all right. So who are we expecting to register for this program? If you're a curious thinker, you think a lot. I mean, I believe a lot of them are in this on this call currently. You like solving problems. You're a researcher. You're a student. It doesn't matter your department, but you're a student. You're a builder, either a developer or a non-tech person. You like building solutions, or you are just ready to commit to a purpose to solve a problem, right? A real world problem, because we have chosen a problem sector, and we want to solve that problem together. Imagine a group of people coming together and facing one problem at a time. And we are not just solving the problem for impact sake, we are also solving it for business sake, for commercial sake. So research is not only this time research is not only going to be for impact, it's also going to be for commercialization, right? That's basically what we are saying here. And you have the opportunity to experience that life in this program. And guess what? It's totally free. You are not expected to pay any amounts to register or to participate. All you have to do is register. So if you want to register, registration is open. You can scan this QR code to apply, or the registration link can be sent to you in the comments in the chat section in the next few seconds. So if you are interested, I expect you to start scanning the code now. Thank you so much. Over to you, Blessing.
Okay, thank you so much, Isaac. I feel that's like a very wonderful opportunity. So, if you're very passionate about research and you want to translate your research into actionable solutions, this is the best one for you. I have dropped the link on the chat box, so you can apply through that link. Thank you once again to everyone for joining. We're also going to send the follow-up email with the link and then the recording to everybody. So thank you. And the next step right now for us is just follow us on our social media platforms. And for those interested in the scholarship opportunity, you can they can apply through the link. So before we say our goodbyes, I want us to do a very short exercise. Let us all put on our videos and we can take a selfie. I mean, so if you're in for that, let's do that in 3, 2, 1, and go.